I want to continue talking about music production and pass on great techniques and tips to my artists, my vocalists, as I am working on my new project, Kingdom Radio, that will be dropping later on this year. I thought that I would share, as I'm on this journey myself, techniques and things that you guys can use as you are working on your various projects. And so what I want to talk about today, and what I want to mention today, is chord progressions, right? Chord progressions. And you know what, it's two ways that you can do this, and I really want to hone in on this because it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be complicated if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. It can be very, very simple. So I'm going to be talking about two ways you can go about this. But let me give some advice before I jump into that. What you can do for yourself, you can go and listen to your favorite artists and listen to the chord progressions that they are using. And if you don't have the ears to hear what the chord progression is or what key it's in, things that nature, call your musician friends. They will help you out, or you can possibly look it up to see what key the song is in, and possibly more information. I'm not really sure, but there is a way that you can get this information so you can know what you're hearing. All right, so let me jump into the first way that you can do this, which is a very simple way. There are artists that use the very same chord progressions or chord progression throughout the entire song. It doesn't change from the verse to the chorus, back to the verse, and even through the bridge. There are songs that literally do not change the chord progression. So this is a way that you can do that. I'm trying to think of a chord progression that's very simple chord progression that you could use. One that you can use is, let's just say we're in the key of C major, right? I think everybody can, in some type of way, visualize C major. What you could do is use a 4 chord, which would be F major. You can use the triad, or you can use F major 7, which adds the E on the top, so F, A, C, and E. To the 6, which will be A minor. Decide if you want the triad, or decide if you want it to have a 7th on top, which will be a minor 7th in this case. All right, so you can have that chord progression. I'll add one more chord, the 4, which is F major, the 6, which is A minor, and then to the 5, which is G major. You can literally use that progression for the entire song. All right, for the entire song. And what I would recommend, if you go this route, what I would recommend is that make sure that you have surprises and things around it. I talked about musical surprises in last week's episode. So if you want to learn more about that, please go to that last episode where I'm talking about musical surprises. All right, but make sure you have different sounds. You have percussion that's popping. Make sure you have, and also vocals. Make sure you have the elements that are around this progression that really add interest to this progression and to the song, because you're not changing the progression. All right, so that is solid. That's going to stay the same. So make sure you have other things around it. All right, so this is a very simple solution, not complicated. Boom. All right, easy. The second solution I would give you guys for chord progressions is you can have different progressions for different sections. So you can have, so let's just say for the intro, you have something very simple, maybe not a progression, but maybe you just have, maybe it's just on the one, a few sounds, but nothing really complicated. But let's just say for the verse, you have a chord progression. Maybe let's just say you have a 1 to 4. I'm just giving very simple progression from 1 to 4. All right, 1 to 4 and then back to 1. Very simple. All right, and let's just say for the chorus, let's just say you want to switch it up. And let's just say for the chorus, you're going to do the 6th chord. Remember, we're still in the C major. It's the 6th chord, which is A minor, the 4 chord, and then let's just say maybe you want to go to the 2. All right, just for the chorus. Or I'm just throwing out a progression so you guys can get an idea. In C major. All right. So again, for the verse, you have 1 to 4, then back to 1, and then for the chorus, you have 6, which is A minor, 4 chord, which is F major, and then the 2 chord, which is D minor. All right, and figure out if you want the triad or you want to have a 7th on the top. Okay, and so this is another way that you can do this. Still not complicated, still not really complicated, because I haven't even gotten to, and I'm not going to talk about that today, which is passing chords and modulations and you know, parallel chords and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to get into that today. I just want to give you something very simple you can use right now. And so this is another way that you can do this. This is another way you can do this. You can change up the progression for each section. And now let's go to the bridge. And let's just say for the bridge, again, something very simple. Maybe you want to be on the 5, which is G major, and then maybe just 5 to 1. All right, C major. All right, for the bridge. Very simple. All right. So in this case, you have a different progression for each section. Now, what you could do as well is that you can have a different progression for the verse, and you can have a different progression for the chorus. But watch this. Also, you can take the progression you have for the chorus and use it for the bridge, right? Which simplifies it even more. Okay, even more. And so this is a very important part of your process. This is you got to make sure that the notes make sense. I know that we have all these plugins today, and you can just throw these plugins in your DAW and off you go. You know, toodaloo. But you have to make sure, at least, you know, I think you have to make sure that you have some understanding of what's going on. I've heard music songs before where stuff didn't make sense. I can tell that they just threw a progression in there and they hope for the best, you know. So make sure you call your musician friends. Make sure this is the progression I had. This is the melody that I'm singing. Does this make sense? Or for yourself, does it make sense to your ear? And if you don't have that, call a musician friend, call somebody, and make sure you get understanding of what's happening. This is very, very important because you want your music to have a flow. Contrary to what people think out there, I know that people, we hear our favorite, one of my favorite artists is Justin Timberlake, and I like Justin Bieber, and, you know, I'm trying to think of some others, you know, some other people. And I know that it looks like not much work has gone into it. You know, you see him, it's fancy, or the band, and you feel all this, you know, you see all the hype and the gloss. But what you need to understand is behind the scenes, there are musicians who have understanding of theory, melody, at least on a basic level, they have understanding. There are people in the room who help him to put to piece these hits together. Please don't be fooled by the gloss of his success. All right, there are people who have understanding. The Bible says something, and all you're getting, get understanding, and that includes music. Okay, so I just wanted to drop these 2 gems for you because I really wanted you to understand you need to have an understanding as you go forward. So pick a very simple progression. You can have a progression for each section. You can keep the same progression. However you do it, just make sure it is musical. All right, I want to thank you so much for checking us out. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you're not having a wonderful day, you can change that by your mindset. Thanks so much. Tony King out.